Well, if you've been feeling crummy lately, you're not alone. According to the Colorado Department of Public Health and Environment, or CDPHE, norovirus outbreak numbers in 2024 have tripled since 2022. No.
I know people have had it this year. It is
no, thank
a
you.
Nasty one. Norovirus is sometimes called the stomach bug, and it causes a variety of symptoms, including vomiting. 9 News reporter Jaleesa Irizarry shares with us everything you need to know.
Welcome to winter, the season where no surface seems safe from getting someone sick.
I'm just going through it. I have fevers now, and yeah, it's been a long week.
Flo Mira had to learn it the hard way. The mom and medical professional has what she believes is the norovirus.
So I actually got it from my son. He's 3. As soon as I got home, I immediately just threw up.
Norovirus is sometimes called the stomach bug. It causes symptoms like stomach pain, vomiting, and diarrhea. Mira says she's had all 3.
Miserable because I threw up so much.
Did you have to miss some work because of this?
I did, yeah. There's no way I could go risk getting my patient sick, you know.
The state does not report individual cases, but rather outbreaks. According to CDPHE data, outbreaks have more than tripled since 2022. That year, from September 1st to December 31st, there were 47 of them. In 2023, there were 114 outbreaks. And in 2024, that jumped to 175.
So once you just get a little bit of a virus in a community, it can very easily and quickly lead to an outbreak.
9 News medical expert Dr. Payal Kohli says anyone can get it from food, other people, and surfaces. Doctors recommend everyone to wash their hands often, clean surfaces regularly, and don't prepare or handle food when sick.
It's one of those that's a terrible, terrible experience to go through.
Right now, I feel the cramps in my stomach very strongly, and they'll come and they'll go.
Mira hopes this nightmare is soon over.
I do.
Until then, she'll hydrate and encourage others to heed her warning.
I would never wish this upon my worst enemy.
Dr. Kohli wonders if the uptake in outbreaks may be because we are traveling and gathering more than we were back in 2022 when we were still easing out of the pandemic. She says most healthy people can handle the virus on their own at home, but if older folks or young children get it, she says they may want to consult their doctor. Reporting in the newsroom, Jaleesa Irizarry, 9 News.
Good information. We all need to be on high alert. Jaleesa, thank you.
Cases of norovirus are surging in some parts of the country, and that includes here in our area.
In the city alone, there were nearly 1,300 cases last month. That's almost triple the number during the same time in 2023.
Dick Brennan here now with what we need to know. Dick.
Marisa and Christine, there is no antiviral treatment for norovirus. It's highly contagious, can stay on counters for days, and sanitizers are not strong enough. Just a few viral particles can transmit the infection. Doctors say symptoms of norovirus can come on quickly after exposure. They include vomiting and diarrhea, nausea and stomach pain, body aches, headache, and fever.
The symptoms are nonspecific. However, they can be quite severe. People may feel quite unwell.
And the biggest complication can be dehydration, especially in children under 2 or adults over 75.
The key is to stay hydrated. So especially little infants, the elderly may have trouble keeping up with that. So that is the key to treating them.
Norovirus is very contagious. You can get it from an infected person, contaminated food, water, and surfaces.
We think bed sheets, pillowcases, clothing, all of that stuff should be washed immediately if somebody's in contact with the virus, especially if you're sharing the pillowcases in bed with somebody else infected.
How do you stop from getting the virus? Wash your hands with soap and water for at least 20 seconds. Avoid contaminated foods like undercooked seafood or raw shellfish. Wash fruits and vegetables carefully. And don't rely on alcohol-based disinfectants.
Common disinfectants such as hand sanitizers or alcohol wipes, do not kill this virus. And that's one of the reasons that norovirus is such a problem.
And don't rush back to work, even when your symptoms stop.
You can still share the virus up to a couple of days to weeks after you recover.
So doctors say you should wait at least 2 days after symptoms subside before you head back to work or to school. And one more thing. Always wash your hands before preparing food, before eating, and after going to touch surface areas like bathrooms. So the key is just keep washing your hands. Marisa and Christine.
Yeah, that's the key. Thank you, Dick.
Growing concerns over bird flu this morning. Health officials in Louisiana now reporting the first known human death from that virus here in the United States. Let's bring in NBC News medical contributor Dr. John Torres. Found out a little bit more about this. So Dr. John, let's talk about this specific case down in Louisiana. What more do we know about that?
And that's a concerning thing. It's the first human death here in the United States from bird flu. He was over the age of 65, had other underlying medical conditions, which is one of those things that we look at when we look at other conditions as well. And on top of that, he had severe respiratory illness, had been in the hospital since December, and unfortunately, he passed away at this point.
Talk about the trajectory. I mean, this is something that officials are watching very closely, but we haven't crossed that threshold of human to human contagion.
Exactly.
Correct?
And there's 4 stages, basically, if you think about it. There's bird to bird, which is stage 1. Stage 2 is bird to other animals, dairy cows, for example. Stage 3 is animals to humans, and that's where we are right now in those 66 cases here in the United States, in cases worldwide as well. And the one we get concerned with is when it starts going animal to human. That's stage 4. I mean, sorry, human to human. Stage 4, we haven't gotten to that stage yet, and that's the stage you're keeping a close eye. Although there were mutations in this patient here they found that could make it more susceptible to doing that human to human transmission, but we haven't seen that yet.
So if people are watching this and thinking, oh, I'm a little afraid of that, should they be? And number 2, like, what are the symptoms for bird flu?
And right now, the risk is low, according to the CDC, the World Health Organization, all the experts. And so it is low, but you do want to be concerned. This person in Louisiana got it from backyard poultry and backyard wild birds that he came in contact with. So you want to be careful. Anytime you're around dead animals, do not handle them. If they're sick, do not handle them. Let somebody who knows what they're doing. Make sure you have safe food practices, eggs, meat, those types of things. Don't drink unpasteurized dairy products. I know there's some people that are very big fans of that, but don't do that because of bird flu. And then make sure you get your flu shot, because if you get a combination of human flu and bird flu at the same time, that makes it more likely it could mutate into that human-to-human transmission. Don't want that to happen.
All right. Dr. John, thank you.
Flu is hitting the national supply of eggs hard. It's limiting supplies and driving up prices as a result.
Yeah, we're all seeing that. According to a recently released report by the USDA, the cost of a dozen large eggs in California costs an average of $8.90. ABC 7 News reporter Suzanne Fawn has more on what local bakeries and restaurants are saying and doing about it.
If you're looking for eggs, you may be shocked at what you see. At the Safeway in San Francisco, you'll see empty shelves and a sign showing eggs going for $9.99 a dozen if you're buying organic eggs.
That's too much. That's crazy, really.
At Trader Joe's on Bay Street, eggs go for $3.99 to $6.49 a dozen. The shelves there are also empty.
I tried to buy them yesterday, and they actually didn't have any in stock.
The supply of eggs in California is really taking a big hit because of the bird flu.
You can still get eggs for $5 or $6 a dozen and upwards of $9 or $10 if you're buying organic eggs. But until we can get this under control, there's going to be a limited supply of eggs.
At Victoria Pastry Company in North Beach, where they make all their cakes and cookies by hand, eggs are a key ingredient.
Since October, late October, prices are just high. And today I was wondering when this is going to stop.
At Moe's Grill, customers come for the omelets as well as the burgers. The restaurant goes through a case of 180 eggs a day, 2 cases a day on the weekends.
Most of the eggs we use is for omelets.
The owner says the cost of a case of eggs is way up.
It's gone up 5 times.
Usually these organic eggs are twice the cost of regular eggs, but the restaurant owner here tells me today they're all the same price.
Hossein Malek tells ABC 7 News that when he can't find regular eggs from his supplier, he tries to buy organic eggs.
What I do is I have to go and look around for it at Costco's.
Many people wonder how long the egg shortage will last. According to Bill Matos with the California Poultry Foundation, the supply of California eggs has dropped 40% compared to this time last year.
Our farmers are working very hard to refill those cage-free operations and get your fresh eggs to market as soon as possible. I'm hopeful that that will start happening within the next month, and by Easter you'll see a good supply of eggs at a good price.
In San Francisco, Suzanne Fawn, ABC 7 News.
Chinese hospitals are being overwhelmed with what's being called a mysterious viral outbreak, and it's drawing comparisons to the early days of the COVID-19 pandemic. The CDC is now actively monitoring reports from overseas, while the U.S. is also seeing a slight increase in cases of the HMPV virus. Senior correspondent Brian Entin is live now with more on this. Brian, what do we know about this, quote, mystery virus?
Well, you know, Nicole, anytime something like this pops up in China, for obvious reasons, we all get a little bit worried. The CDC says they are keeping track of a rise in HMPV in China, and that the U.S. has also seen an increase in cases. Now, HMPV, it stands for metapneumovirus. Chinese media is reporting more cases among children 14 and under. Now keep in mind, this is Chinese state media that's coming out with these reports, so it's unclear exactly how accurate the numbers really are. Obviously, we know we can't fully trust everything that comes out of the Chinese media. The CDC says the numbers in America remain at pre-pandemic levels, which is a good thing. In a statement to News Nation, the CDC says they are aware of reported increases of HMPV in China, and they're in regular contact with international partners and monitoring reports of increased disease. These reports are not currently a cause for concern in the U.S. That's according to the CDC. They go on to say we can expect that existing surveillance systems will rapidly detect any increase in HMPV cases in the U.S. CDC will continue to monitor and provide important updates to the public. Now, HMPV, it's got similar symptoms to the common cold: cough, fever, congestion, runny nose, shortness of breath. Most kids get the disease by the time they are 5, but it does cause some hospitalizations. That's the reason this is a concern. 20,000 kids end up in the hospital with it every year, and it can be very dangerous for very, very young kids, for babies, and also for the elderly. There is no cure or vaccine for the disease right now, but there are pharmaceutical companies working on a vaccine, and obviously everybody's keeping an eye on exactly what's happening in China. Nicole?
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Brian Entin.
I just want to say that it's a very special place. It needs security for itself, but it also needs security very much for the world. The location really, you see the people and the ships sailing around, and they're not the right ships, and they're not the ships you want to know about. So we need security, and our country needs it, and the whole world needs it.
Yes.
Yeah.
You are right. You guys like that, right?
Yeah, we're learning a lot. It's been great. Actually, incredibly beautiful place. The people are incredible. The welcome was spectacular. It's pretty amazing.
Well, that's great. Well, you go have a good time, everybody, and we're going to treat you well. You know that. And just take care of yourselves. Thank you all very much.
See you soon.
Be good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us here during KRON 4 News at 3. I'm Justine Waldman. We have been closely following the conditions in Southern California today because high winds have been hitting that area. This fire has burned more than 700 acres. It started earlier today. We're going to get the latest now from KRON 4's Teresa Stepp. Situation. And Teresa, what's the latest now?
Really a breaking situation. This fire burning out of control. The video coming in shows chaos and confusion as residents are scrambling to survive the fast-moving flames. You got to see this for yourself. People in the Palisades area clogging roadways, trying to get out of town. Fire is burning right next to them as they're fleeing. If you're familiar with this area, this fire broke out in the Highlands community. That's about 10 miles from Malibu. The entire community down to the Pacific Ocean has been told to evacuate. Our affiliate in Los Angeles says that the evacuation routes have been congested and slow moving, causing people to abandon their cars and leave on foot. More than 100 firefighters and strike teams are battling the blaze right now. More are on their way. Here's more from the scene.
Here on Palisades Drive, if anybody has a car and they leave their car, leave the keys in the car so that we can move your car so that these fire trucks can get up Palisades Drive. What's happening is people take their keys with them as if they're in a parking lot. This is not a parking lot. Yeah. We really need people to move their cars. So if you leave your car in Palisades Drive, leave the key in there so a guy like me can move your cars and get them up there so that these fire trucks can get up there. It's really, really important.
24,000 residents have been told to leave. Here's one woman leaving with her belongings.
Are you okay? Are you okay? Can you stop for a second? Are you okay?
Oh, well, I got to get down the mountain.
Okay.
I got to get down the mountain.
Are you guys safe?
No, yeah, no, it's fire up there. They're going to burn up all that. The whole building right here going to catch on fire.
Is that your building up there?
Yeah, that's my building. There's about 200 people in there.
Oh, my goodness.
About 300 and all the way around. About 500 people up there.
Ma'am, what's your name?
My name is Elaine May.
Elaine, okay.
And I live right here. It's that building. It's on fire right here.
Wow. Is that a condominium, an apartment?
It's a old folks home. So
Oh, my
about
goodness.
200 people in there. About 200 people in that building right there. They couldn't get out. I got to go because it's burning now right there.
Okay, thank you. Be safe.
Unbelievable, right? Southern California Edison, that's the utility company in the area, has warned residents that they could be cutting off power to more than 500,000 residents. It is a dire and dangerous situation. Stay with us. We're going to have much more coming up on KRON4.com as well as our shows later. Back to you, Justine.
A woman was apparently hit by not one, but 2 cars within minutes. It happened in Sakarya, Turkey. Reports say the woman was crossing in a pedestrian walkway when she was struck by the first car. The driver and witnesses rushed to help her in the middle of the street. And while many cars went around the crowd, one car didn't seem to realize what was happening. It drove right into the crowd, knocking the woman over again. Reports say she was rushed to a local hospital where she remains in intensive care. No word on any charges against the drivers who hit her. For Inside Edition Digital, I'm Mara Montalbano.